Hi, welcome to Coffee Theology. My name is Adam Ericksen, and I am drinking out of the Raven Foundation mug. The Raven Foundation, making religion reasonable, violence unthinkable, and peace a possibility. You should go check out the website. It is that cool. And I'm drinking Rwandan coffee because it is awesome. It's made by Kirkland. If you happen to know a place that sells Kirkland brand things, you should go buy some because it's good. Now, the term that I want to discuss with you is a term that means that you are a moron. But there's good news for us morons because of this term. And that term is accommodation. And it's put forth by John Calvin very strongly. And Calvin ends up saying that God has to accommodate divine revelation so that human beings can understand it. Why is that the case? Because you are a moron. Not you specifically, but you generally. Human beings are morons. Why is that? Well, Calvin uses this analogy. It's as if we all have these glasses on, but the glasses are scratched. And they're scratched partly because we have scratched our own glasses, and also we've scratched other people's glasses, and other people have scratched our glasses. And this violence that we commit against one another makes it so that we can't see the world or God for who the world or God really is. So we have a hard time seeing the truth of Genesis 1, that the world is good. We generally think that the world is bad and it's a place that we have to escape from and go off to heaven, and yay, we'll all be happy and live in an actually good world. And the reason that we think this way is because, as Calvin says, we're all got these scratched up glasses. Well, God accommodates to our scratched up glasses partly through anthropomorphisms in the Bible. Anthropomorphisms are the result of God's accommodation. Because we're a bunch of morons, God has to reveal God's self to us as if God has human qualities. So as if God has a body. So God's walking around in the Garden of Eden. My favorite anthropomorphism, though, is in Exodus, where God and Moses are BFFs and they're hanging out. And Moses is all, hey, dude, show me your glory. And God is like, oh, man, can't show you my glory, but I can show you my backside. In his brilliant commentary on this, Walter Brueggemann says that God shows Moses his rear end. And I'm left wondering, is this the divine full moon that Moses gets to see? Anyway, Calvin says that God's ultimate accommodation is in the person of Jesus. Now, Jesus is quite possibly the only person who has ever lived who is not a moron. Jesus actually sees the world and sees God for who the world really is, or what the world really is, and for who God really is. And what Jesus ends up saying is that God is love. What Jesus ends up living is into this identity of goodness and of God's love. And he invites people to live into that reality so that he ends up saying that God loves even God's enemies and invites us to do that. God loves even morons, even people like you and me and our enemies. God loves them because this is who God is. God is love and can't be anything other than love. So God loves. Now, you see this ultimately on the cross, where it's in the Gospel of Luke. Jesus is hanging up on the cross and he says this, Father, forgive these morons, for they know not what they do. Did he really say that? Now, that's not a literal translation, but it's close enough. And this is the transformation that Jesus is making for us morons and allowing us to live into that identity, which is love. So that's my thoughts on accommodation, and I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks.